Day 845, being Christopher Cruz. I'm very excited. I'm very excited right now. So I went to the coffee shop, which is right on the corner. And I went there for our 100X group call with Pedro. And they're talking about, getting clear on your target market. And so we worked on it a little bit, and I'm just like kind of just not getting it. And after that call, I was just like, man, God, what do I need to focus on? Because there's 10 different ways that I can go right now. Focusing on creating the Profit Center, which is the Finding Your Purpose in 6 weeks, or focus on the movement, which is Warriors of God, or do one-on-one coaching, get more one-on-one clients, or do group coaching, or do online challenges, or all of these things. Is the purpose, Finding Your Purpose in 6 weeks, is that just a separate thing from Warriors of God? And Warriors of God is the movement, and the purpose thing is the Profit Center, because that's what I'm learning with Pedro. You got to have a Profit Center, and you got to have your movement. Because you don't want your movement to be your Profit Center, because your movement just won't make as much money because it's a movement. Your Profit Center is the business that makes the money to fund the movement. And so I was like, okay, well, I have both of those, which is great. Finding Your Purpose and then Warriors of God. And I wrote down all these things I could do. God, do you want me to focus on getting on stages now so I can go speak to these believers and talk to them about being warriors? And it was just so much stuff. And I was just like, God, what is your will? What do you want me to do? Because I don't know what direction to go in. And then I just started drawing some things out. And I realized that for Warriors of God, it's a journey that they're on. Right? So it's the warrior's journey. Step 1 is recruiting. Step 2 is training. Step 3 is fighting, going into battle. And so step 1 is recruiting. That's when I speak on stage and they see who I am and what I'm doing, and then they come into the program. Step 2 is training, which is the 6 weeks to find your purpose. And then step 3 is actually fighting the battle. And that's living into your purpose, which is Warriors of God. And so I just got this this journey to becoming a warrior, the warrior's journey. Recruit, train, and fight. And I was like, okay, that's simple. That's super simple. And each one of those steps is a different process. Recruit, that's where I'm out there speaking on stages and finding these believers who want to become warriors. Step 2 is once I've recruited them, now it's time to train them, which is the 6 weeks to find your purpose. That's like the boot camp. And then step 3 is, now that you've been trained, now it's time to fight the battle. And that is living into your purpose. And that is being in Warriors of God. And I was like, okay, that is simple. I need that kind of simplicity. And then all of a sudden I remembered StoryBrand. So I got the book and read StoryBrand back when I was living in Thailand, 6 years ago or something. And it was brilliant. It's just the most brilliant form of marketing and storytelling ever. And it's based on the hero's journey. Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. And there's this hero and they want to go through this transformation, but they need a guide. So Luke Skywalker finds Yoda and they're fighting against something, good versus evil. And there's a transformation they have to go through. And they're trying to get a certain outcome and avoid another outcome. And it's basically the hero's journey, the story that every superhero, goes through, or every character in a movie. And years ago, I was just like, man, it's just so brilliant. And when I got the book, you got this free little template you could go to online. And I was like, I remember I still have that. So I went to mystorybrand.com. I opened it up and it's there it is. And it's okay, that's what I need. I need to story brand this. I need to I need to get clarity on what is Warriors of God. What is the problem that I'm fighting? What's the problem I'm solving for them? What are their pain points and their struggles? What are the things that like I need to help them achieve and accomplish? And that's that story brand framework is it. Like it's just right there, and it's so flawless for Warriors of God because Story Brand is all about becoming a hero, and it's all about your customers becoming the hero, and you're just the guide. You're not the hero, you're the guide, right? So they're Luke Skywalker, you're just Yoda. You're the one that just assists them in that journey. And this whole thing is about them becoming warriors and being warriors of God. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is so good. And I start like going through it, and I'm like, I might have to like get the book and read it because I don't remember all of this as well as I maybe should. Actually, I think I might have it on Kindle. Yeah, I think I do. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe there's a workbook or something for this, like a Story Brand workbook. And so I Google Story Brand workbook, and the first thing I click on is this 60-page PDF from their workshop. And I start going through it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this goes into in-depth detail to each part of the story. And I was like, what? There's no way. Like, it was clearly like it was part of like a master class or part of a training that they did where people got access to this workbook, because it's like in detail and it walks you through each step. And at the end, it even gives you a script where you just fill in the blanks based on what you've actually created. And I was just like, what? Like, this is flawless. This is exactly what I need, because my brand is a story brand. And they are Warriors of God. They are the characters. These believers are the characters, and they have to go through this transition, just like Luke Skywalker went through the transition of becoming a Jedi and fighting evil. Well, it's the same thing with Warriors of God. They're going to go through this transition of becoming warriors and fighting evil. And I was just like, no way. And I look at the time, and it was like 1:45 or something like that. And I'm like, I got to get this thing printed out. This is what I need to focus on every morning until I am crystal clear, so I know what I'm doing with Warriors of God. So I actually know what Warriors of God is. You know, so when I get on the calls, there's a focus. When I talk to potential clients, there's a focus. When I look at the kind of stages I want to speak on, there's a focus. When I look at the brand, there's a focus, because right now I'm just like, I'm winging it. And when God gives me inspiration, I go. But I know that there's a much bigger vision that I have to get clarity on, because I just feel like a little bit of a disco ball right now, and I want to be a laser beam. Like, I want to focus all that energy and light in one powerful direction instead of spreading my light and going in all different directions, because it's driving me crazy not having that single point of focus. And so it was just like, this is the answer. This is crazy that I have this workbook. Like, this is the answer. And so I went to staples.com. I know that if you want to pick up something that you print the same day, it has to be in by 2:00. So it's like 1:45. So I download the 60-page workbook. I go to Staples. I go to upload it, have it bound, printed in color. And then I get to the end, and it's $45. And I'm like, ooh, I thought it was going to be like $20. And I still got 10 minutes left. So I send a message to the chat group, or to the, whatever the chat is, the customer service chat. And I was like, hey, I'm just getting ready to get something printed. Just want to see if you guys had any like coupon codes, discounts. And she was like, yeah, we have this one where if you spend $50, you get $10 off. And mine was like $44. So I was like, maybe I can just upgrade it, like better quality paper or something. I upgraded to better quality paper. It's like $49 and the discount code won't work. And so anyway, I was like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to get it printed. You know, it's going to be $50, but it's going to be some of the best $50 I've ever spent in my life. It is going to give me clarity, and God just dropped this in my lap. So get over it. God will provide. Plus, one of my clients just made a $300 payment today. So so I got it printed, hit send, and I got it in with 2 minutes to spare. So I get to pick it up tonight and start working on it. which is awesome because I so desperately need clarity on this, and the messaging behind it, and the branding behind it, and the vision behind it. And there's a lot of different marketing strategies and stuff out there, but my brand is so perfect for story branding, for the hero's journey. And I just know that that's the way to go. There's no better way than that, because it is the perfect thing. It's just like, it's flawless, because they're taking on the identity of a warrior in God's army, but they have to go through this transformation, right? And so I need to go out there, recruit them, speak on stages, do Facebook Lives, recruit these people, and then train them to be warriors by helping them find their purpose, and then help them go fight the battle by living into their purpose. And that's when they join the Warriors of God family, and they're on the daily calls and the weekly calls, and they go through this amazing transformation, but they know who their identity is. They know what they stand for. They know what they fight for. And so it's just like this perfect thing. And I want everything with the branding and the marketing and everything to just be a story, because we learn best from stories. We're most attracted to stories. A story is the only thing that can hold our attention for an extended amount of time. That's why we can watch a movie for 2 hours and lose ourselves in it, because it's a story. And so people understand stories better than anything. And so if I can turn Warriors of God into being their story of their transformation, and the story of good versus evil and fighting for God, and to expand God's kingdom and advance God's kingdom, like, it's perfect. Like, the right people will get it, and they'll say, that is the journey I want to go on. I'm ready to become a warrior. I'm ready to find my purpose, advance God's kingdom, and step into my greatness. And in order to do that, I need a guide, and Warriors of God is that guide. So it's so flawless. I'm going all in on this, because not having this clarity is not allowing me to focus on what's the next thing I need to do. And there's like literally 10 different options of what I can focus on, what I can do. And it's making me crazy. Like, I'm just like, oh, this is overwhelming. I don't know which direction to go, and I hate not having direction. And so I'm definitely going to take that as God guiding me. You know, I just started drawing it out, and then God just gave me this inspiration. It's the warrior's journey, and then that reminded me of the hero's journey, and then that is all based on the story brand. And then I go there, and the first thing I Google, I get a freaking 60-page workbook on exactly how to break it down. And I was just like, all right, this is too good to be true. Like, this is a God thing. This is too good to not be a God thing. And the crazy thing is that would not have happened, but one of my coaching clients, she canceled her call because her living situation is changing today and unexpectedly, and so she had to cancel last minute. Had she not canceled last minute, I wouldn't have done any of this. I would have been on a coaching call for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then I have another one, and then a church call tonight. So this wouldn't have happened. Dang, that's awesome. That is so freaking cool. God is so good. So, and I feel like I finally know enough about the vision that I can take that vision and I can put it into a story brand, and turn it into a transformational story that each one of these believers gets to go through. And then I can explain what it is, because next week for Warriors of God, that's the last free call, and people are gonna have to make a decision. You're either in this family and on this journey, or you're not. I mean, it's only $99 a month. It's not like a big decision, but I only want the right people in it. And so they need to understand, well, what does it actually mean to be a warrior of God? So I have this whole next week to do this workbook and focus a lot of time and energy on it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So on Wednesday, I can be very clear in a very simple way of, this is what a warrior of God is. This is who you are. This is what you represent. This is what you stand for. This is what you fight for. And this is what we're living into. And that's either you or it's not. So, yeah. Thank you, God, so much. Thank you so much. Whew, what a relief. Such a relief. Not having direction or feeling lost is not a comfortable situation or a comfortable feeling. Yeah. This is great. So excited for this. And who would have thought this book I read 6 or 7 years ago would come back full circle now? And I found the workbook. Like, it's a 60 page workbook. No, that comes from a masterclass that people paid for or a workshop that they did. Like, no. And I'm almost positive I have the Kindle version of the book. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.